A Fatherhood Guide. Chapter 1. A Fatherhood Dad Guide 1. Fatherhood 1. Little eyes upon you. There are little eyes upon you. And they're watching night and day. There are little ears that quickly take in every word you say. There are little hands all eager to do anything you do. There's a little boy who's dreaming of the day he will be like you. You're the little fellow's idol. You're the wisest of the wise. In his little mind about you, no suspicions ever rise. He believes in you devoutly. Holds that all you say and do, he will say and do, in your way. When he's a grown-up like you, there's a wide-eyed little fellow who believes you're always right. And his ears are always open as he watches day and night. You are setting an example every day in all you do for the little boy who's waiting to grow up to be like you. Anonymous. Providing for one's family as a good husband and father is a watertight excuse for making money hand over fist. Greed may be a sin, exploitation of other people might look rather nasty, but who can blame a man for doing the best for his children? Eva Figs, Nova, 1973. When they're young, children don't care how much money you make, they just want to be with you. When they're teenagers, they don't want to be with you but care about how much money you make. 90% of being a good dad is the desire to be a good one. The other 10% is the inspired joy of being a father. Simply do things with your family. Spend time with them. The best gift a father can give to his children is to love their mother. You can't be a good father without being a good husband. The second best gift is to spend time with the family. Quantity of time doesn't matter if quality is there. Many wives and children eventually develop an image of the husband as invisible because even when he's home, he doesn't say much and is living in a fantasy in his mind, so everybody shuts off from him and he from them. Do things with them that are real and show you're sincerely interested in them, like ask them questions, act like you care and ask follow-up questions about tests, studies, hobbies, etc. A father has two dreams. To make it on his own. To be a good father, which means to support his family morally, socially, and financially. Fathers say they try to fulfill both sectors in their own way, but they hate it when their wives try to tell them what to do and nag. They can think, they know what's going on. They might be slow to communicate it emotionally because they don't verbalize much, but it's in there, so the lesson is to tell her you feel badly when you miss your daughter's piano recital because of work. Men say they will do the housework, but they don't want the wife to nag with her neurotic need to get everything perfect. They can fold towels functionally, they just don't want the wife to give them instructions about something so trivial. Fatherhood is all about attitude. You can either feel your wings are clipped, it will cost you bundles of money and the freewheeling macho bravado of your youth are over, or you can look at it as a great experience where you get to help a baby grow up to become a worthwhile person. Can you be a man about it? Being a man means being responsible for what you do, and if you inseminate a woman, the right thing to do is raise the child or help raise him or her if you're not with the mother. It doesn't have to be an abrupt change, but a gradual transition that starts with her pregnancy, where you support her, go with her to childbirth classes, read some books at number 649 at the library, and buy things for baby. Start doing some housework. You don't have to be in the delivery room when she's having her baby. The politically correct attitude these days is that the husband should be there to support the wife, but some things in life are meant to be private. You do them alone in peace, which is why I'm of the mind that that's her domain, her moment. I shouldn't be there while she's going through this trying moment. I can come in immediately after and hug the baby with her, but it's not cool to be there during the actual delivery, but that's only my opinion. You can do whatever you want. The only way I'd be in there is if she really wanted me to. If you go to any retail baby store, you will feel like you're gonna end up in the poorhouse, but because babies are only babies for a few years, there's plenty of used stuff around at thrift stores, in the local buy and sell newspaper, flea markets, garage sales, and on the internet. Buy just about everything second-hand, even clothes that are gonna be useful for a year or two, then they will be too small. You might have some friends with a couple of 2-year-olds who don't need their small baby stuff anymore. People say that a married couple make better parents than a common law couple or a shared custody arrangement because they're more committed to the concept of family, so it could be a good time to get married if you're currently not. Fatherhood is a compromise to some extent, you can't deny it, but it's also a joy if you decide to run with it and strive to be the best, happiest, most responsible father you can be. There's no formula. Do whatever you do with love as long as it feels right. No matter what, start talking and discussing things with your children and keep doing it as they grow up. Before you know it, the child will be 2 years old, start to get toilet trained and walk around, and it should be smooth sailing until the teenage years. Gone are the days when fatherhood simply meant working a job, expecting a hot meal to be there when you got home and leaving the parenting duties to the wife. Fatherhood too. Fatherhood is being the financial provider, but it goes beyond this to encompass a moral foundation as the symbolic head, and just as importantly, good fathers enjoy their kids, play with them, nurture them, educate them, and do everything else with them to help them grow up and become good people. Real fathers are not passive, quiet types who work the job, come home all beat up and just wanna be left alone. They take an active role in the daily life of the wife, home, and the kids. It's that simple. You don't have to be ashamed of showing your true feelings and expressing yourself with your family. After all, it's your family and you're supposed to lead by example. Although the social climate has changed to allow for more hands-on nurturing fathers, men still have the same old problems in dealing with their lives, namely that of the lone wolf who keeps it all in, suffers in silence, doesn't let anybody in, and actually prefers to spend a lot of time alone after work watching TV and doing other things rather than bothering much with the family. The other big one is the angst inside, the tension of work, life, bills, family, anger at the world for not being as successful and cool as you wanna be, so you keep it all in when you're out there, but when you go home, you probably take it out on yourself by drinking, cheating, gambling, doing drugs, etc., or probably take it out on your family by being a miserable, trivial son of a bitch in what is commonly called the kicking the dog syndrome. Most men can't take their frustrations out on their boss or co-workers lest they get fired, so they take it out on the ones who love them the most, who can't fight back, their family. Sexual abuse of the wife, child abuse, hollering, screaming, put-downs, etc. are all still very much alive within all manner of families. If you have these feelings within yourself, you must resolve them so that they die and you move on to become a happy, loving person, peaceful within yourself, sharing your life with your family. Your relationship with your spouse will change from romance and ease to taking care of the baby at all hours of the day. There is some educational stuff on TV that's good for toddlers, but much is a cultural wasteland, so try to limit garbage TV watching and stimulate a love for activity, movement, and intellectual pursuits such as trips to the library to get books, then buy them a computer with educational software. You don't need a new one. Any old one will do. The golden rule is to do things with the kids, play with them at their level. It doesn't much matter what it is, just do it. Get them to help you wash the car, clean the garage, basement, etc. Do the household chores happily and get them to help along. Cut the grass, grow a garden, take the garbage out, do a carpentry project, build a rock garden, get a pet, etc., and get the children involved. Fatherhood represents a loss of freedom and romance, but it's worth it if you love your children. The baby will wet itself all the time, drool over itself, spit food out and cry. Talking and playing with baby are probably your greatest adventures as you watch the toddler learn to speak and explore the world around him or her. If you smile at her, sometimes she will smile back. Build her a playhouse, watch how she imitates people, be wary when she imitates bad behavior like swearing. She will be naturally self-absorbed and somewhat selfish, so try to encourage friendship and sharing. Get her out into the world to play with other kids, either the neighborhood kids, the children of your friends, or organized activities like church groups and YMCA programs for kids. You can play along about Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy for a while, but tell them the truth at about the age of 10 or so and try to explain the real religious significance of Christmas and other holidays. Don't go overboard on frivolous toys. There are many perfectly good used toys at your local thrift store. You might find a used set of encyclopedias, a used computer and even a radio at the thrift store for your kids. They're perfectly good enough for children even though they're used. Try hashtag 306.87 and number 649 at the library. Fatherhood 3. I was an ambitious man. Never had much time for one-on-one relationships. Not a good father. Culture the right qualities in your children: gentleness, compassion, kindness, love, peace, calmness, friendship, sharing, outgoing nature, curiosity about life, love of learning, love of knowledge, the search within to find their natural talents and develop them, respect for all other people, moral values, a religious base, not too much frivolous TV, fun, an exploration of life, the search for adventures, the enjoyment of life, love of people, love of physical activity, love of nature, music, and pets, and the list goes on, anything positive, hopefully nothing negative. Teach your children to love themselves, take care of themselves and excel in whatever they choose to do for the experience and personal glory of life, not necessarily to be better than others or to prove anything to the world, although that may be an offshoot of their work. Take them to your work with you. Give them projects to do, like type something, write something out, etc. Go out into the community and do things together, like at the church or help out at a homeless shelter, etc. If you want to be a great father, don't be a slob, clean up after yourself and help with the housework. Pray with them if you're so inclined. Go to cultural events like the parade, museum, etc. Look over the pictures in the photo album and tell them about them. Reading to them, singing along with records, dancing, playing, etc. is so much more powerful than just buying some stupid, expensive presents and then ignoring them. These will be their memories later on in life. My father used to take a whole bunch of the neighborhood children swimming to the lakes almost every day when he came home from work in the back of his truck. Then we'd go to the state parks on the weekends. Be wary of sibling rivalry among brothers and sisters. Try to treat everyone fairly, equally, and honestly. Take each child aside and do special activities just with them, talking to them alone as you do whatever it is you do with them, which is a diversion to talk to them one-on-one. Whenever you go anywhere, take one or two of the children with you. When your children have seemingly silly questions, try to answer them in an educated way. Most libraries have great children's sections. There's no excuse not to educate your children virtually for free at the library. You can even get videotapes there. Don't look at fatherhood as a chore or a role, look at it as an interesting learning experience for you as well as for your children. Tell them that you're going through life with them, it's an unexplored canvas, you're doing it together for the glory of life, the spirit of humanity. You want your children to know what life's all about, the true soul of it, to reach for high noble things within themselves, to feel it, live it, and transcend mundanity for at least one instance of time, hopefully as often as possible. Mealtime is the symbolic altar/ritual of the family. A family needs structure, and this is where they get it. You have to be there and make it clear that it matters, and you should all talk to each other about the day's events as you eat without the TV on in the background. If you can't do it every day, make the Sunday meal the big, special meal of the week. When you have a new baby, get the older children involved in helping to raise it. Tell your children about your past life growing up. Whatever you do, don't forget important days like birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, etc. Celebrate them with your children and do special things like have a party, buy presents, etc. Give up newspaper/magazine subscription and some of your TV time to do things with the children, especially on the weekends. Watching sports on TV is not only useless, but it takes away from valuable family time where you could be out there doing something with them in the great outdoors. Above all, you must have patience, be gentle always and never put your child down no matter what. Laughter and good times are everything. Discipline is fine but always have tenderness mixed in with it. You will have tough times but stay cool and you will get through them. They're only kids, they will make mistakes and purposely test your limits but that's to be expected. They're just learning about the world. Don't baby them or keep them in a straitjacket. You gotta give them space so that they can mess up on their own and learn from their mistakes. If they want things like a radio, skates, stereo, bike, car, etc., make them earn it by giving them jobs to do around the house. Treat your daughters like ladies but don't spoil them. Make it clear that you want them to grow up to be ladies of substance, not frivolous wannabe models. Help them out with college but don't give them a free ride. Make them get a job and partially pay their own way. If they leave home after 21, make them pay a few bucks for rent or work it off in chores. A strong father raises strong, healthy children. Fatherhood is like a game, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Hopefully, you don't get blown away and miss the game completely. Parenting is like a walk down memory lane, you remember your childhood as you live through your children's. Try to create a happy family atmosphere by replicating your best memories of growing up. As long as you're trying and don't punish your children too much, they will know you're alright and love you. Children aren't stupid. They know what's going on from TV. You don't own them. If you try to control them, they will rebel. Just about all children are good if given the chance, but if you put too much pressure on them, punish them excessively and blame them for trivial things or things they didn't do, they will rebel to get back at you. Love breeds love. Animosity breeds animosity. Many parents use children as shock absorbers for their problems without even realizing it. Don't fall into this trap. Be kind to your children all the time. Be committed but keep it simple. If you're not married, tying the knot will often make you feel like a more responsible, legitimate father. Don't look at it as 50-50. Take up the slack sometimes. Respect your parents around your kids. If you want the family to work, you can make it happen. If it's not working, do not stay for the kids' sake. Get out, move on, and if the second time ain't better, get out of it too. Having the baby is easy. Being a good father is tough. The baby will get sick. Have the local pediatric line handy to call the hospital, who will tell you what to do, whether to come in or not. The Christian father. He teaches patience by being gentle and understanding over and over. He teaches honesty by keeping his promises to his family even when it costs. He teaches courage by living unafraid, with faith, in all circumstances. He teaches justice by being fair and dealing equally with everyone. Every father can teach Christian principles. He teaches kindness by being thoughtful and gracious even at home. Anonymous. Chapter 2. A Fatherhood Dad Guide 2. Fatherhood One-Liners 1. A father may have a child who is ugly and lacking in all the graces, and the love he feels for him puts a blindfold over his eyes so that he does not see his defects but considers them signs of charm and intelligence and recounts them to his friends as if they were clever and witty. All fathers are invisible in daytime, daytime is ruled by mothers and fathers come out at night. An angry father is most cruel towards himself. Publius. By the time a man realizes that maybe his father was right, he usually has a son who thinks he's wrong. Charles Wadsworth. Darkness brings home fathers, with their real, unspeakable power. Fathers are biological necessities but social accidents. Margaret Mead. Fathers, like mothers, are not born. It is a wise child that knows his own father. It is impossible to please all the world and one's father. It is much easier to become a father than to be one. It is easier for a father to have children than for children to have a real father. Pope John XXIII. Love matches, so-called, have illusion for their father and need for their mother. Friedrich Nietzsche. Men grow into fathers, And fathering is a very important stage in their development. Nobody ever asks a father how he manages to combine marriage and a career. Sam Ewing. One father is enough to govern 100 sons, but not 100 sons one father. George Herbert. The most important thing a father can do for his children is to love their mother. Theodore Hesburgh. The father who does not teach his son his duties is equally guilty with the son who neglects them. Confucius. The worst misfortune that can happen to an ordinary man is to have an extraordinary father. Austin O'Malley. There is more to fathers than meets the eye. When one has not had a good father, one must create one. Friedrich Nietzsche. You don't have to deserve your mother's love. You have to deserve your father's. He's more particular. Robert Frost. Fatherhood one-liners 2. One father said the things to teach your children are how the real world works, i.e., be nice to people and they return the favor. How money works. It's the small moments day to day that create happiness. Always have a backup plan. That you're only human. There are many things you don't know or can't do. Some things a father can do to interact with the baby are: take him out of the crib to hug, snuggle with and play with him. Change diapers. Feed the baby with the bottle. Gave her a bath. Massage your baby. Hold him and pat him like you would your cat. Take him for walks with either a carriage or carrier, a knapsack-like thing you wear on your back like the papooses the Indians used to wear to carry their babies around. Gently rock her cradle. Talk to your baby. Sing to her. One night a father overheard his son pray, "Dear God, make me the kind of man my daddy is." Later that night, the father prayed, "Dear God, make me the kind of man my son wants me to be." Uncown. If a son is uneducated, his dad is to blame. Chinese proverb. He didn't tell me how to live, he lived and let me watch him do it. Clarence Kelland. My father died many years ago, and yet when something special happens to me, I talk to him secretly, not really knowing whether he hears, but it makes me feel better to half believe it. Jos Fowitz. It is much easier to become a father than to be one. Kent Nurburn. A father has to be a provider, a teacher, a role model, but most importantly, a distant authority figure who can never be pleased. Otherwise, how will children ever understand the concept of God? Stephen Colbert. I am American, and so can you. The most important thing a father can do for his children is to love their mother. Theodore Hesburgh. Research has shown a child who sees his mother mistreated is more damaged than if the child himself is abused. Stephen Stosny. Try hashtag 306.87 and number 649 at the library. The presence of the father. Is the presence of the father in the home that important to a child's development? Do other options do a good enough job raising children? The dysfunctional nature of families, according to some mental health reports and some elements in the psychological and psychiatric industries, state that up to 90% of fathers are dysfunctional according to their definition, but this is the business of mental health, to create dysfunction where none exists so they can profit from it. They make their money by treating dysfunction. If they said most men are doing fine as fathers, they would be eliminated a possible source of income, so it ain't exactly objective analysis. Just like you should never ask a barber if you need a haircut, never ask a so-called mental health expert if there are problems in your family, because he will always say yes in anticipation of making money by counseling you. Be wary of psychobabble over-analysis in any facet of life. Are men paternalistic? There are very few kids nowadays who will grow up like I did as a basic, simple, creatively inspired kid. If I try to shelter a child from the couch potato lifestyle of gadgets and the crap on TV, it's so pervasive that he or she will eventually see it and most likely conform to this meaningless lifestyle, which is why I think life is getting worse instead of better, because many of us have given up whatever might be free, vital, and inspired within ourselves to live the indoctrinated life presented by the mass media. I was a kid in the hippie era. We were freer and more primal than the kids nowadays with their packaged lifestyles in front of a screen. Children en masse are clones of the MTV generation. They think it's cool, but they're a bunch of pacified conformists. That's one of the results of living in an increasingly technological world. Everybody's on the same page. Why put up a profile on Facebook rather than living life in the real world, going out and meeting people face to face through mutual interests? They sit around plugged into their computers getting this fake intimacy from people they've never met in real life. They don't understand that happiness comes from what you do from your original, inspired nature. I don't want some child of mine to end up like this. I don't think it's possible to take on the role of noble parent these days. The modern world is going the way of Big Brother in the novel 1984. We don't think we're conformists, but most of us are. If you can't be a free, pure individual living close to your true nature, life goes anywhere from mundane to miserable. That's why I think the world is screwed, and I don't want to waste my time raising kids in this atmosphere. From a practical point of view, kids take a lot of time and money. It's not romantic. It's hard work. Why have a kid if there's a chance you'll get bored of him or her after a few years? Why have a kid if you're an alcoholic or have other deep problems? Why have a kid if you think it helped the relationship stay together? It will just cause more problems. There is a group around called Zero Population who believe that a big part of the ecological problems of planet Earth is that we're having too many kids to support. Stay-at-home dad, SAHD, /stay-at-home father /house dad /house husband. A stay-at-home dad is a father who is the main caregiver of the children and is. In gay families, the stay-at-home dad feels natural. In heterosexual marriages, the guy staying at home raising the kid loses self-respect because he is not the breadwinner. Do your best as a parent, then read my business and jobs books to maybe get an idea to start some home business. Go to number 331, number 332 and hashtag 650-659 at the library. AlmightyDad.com. Articles.chicagotribune.com/keyword/stay-at-home-dads. Artofmanliness.com. athomedad.org. babycenter.com/stay-at-home-mom-dad. bettyconfidential.com/ar/ld/stay-at-home-dads.html. break.com/index/stay-home-dad-rap.html. childwelfare.gov/pub/user-manual/fatherhood/chapter8_p.cfm. dadstayshome.com. davidthestayathomedad.blogspot.com. diyfather.com/directories/global-fathers-support-group-directory. fathersandfamilies.org/category/stay-at-home-dads. goodmenproject.com. greatdad.com. home-business.com/stay-at-home-dads.html. huffingtonpost.com/tag/stay-at-home-dad. mattersofman.com. parenting.blogs.newyorktimes.com. parenting.com/article/stay-home-dad. parentmap.com. parents.com/parenting/dads/issues-trends/stay-at-home-dads. rebeldad.com. sahd.meetup.com. stayathomedads.co.uk. stayathomejob4parents.com. thestayathomeDad.tv. wikihow.com/be-a-stay-at-home-dad. Chapter 3. Fatherhood Resources and Organizations. Fatherhood Resources. Fathering and Fatherhood, Academic References. mensbiblio.xyonline.net/fathering.html. Fathering and Fatherhood, Articles and Discussion. xyonline.net/category/article-content/fathering. Men Care, a global fatherhood campaign. men-care.org. National Fatherhood Initiative, organization improve the well-being of children through the promotion of responsible, engaged fatherhood, USA. Fatherhood.org. Engaging Fathers Project, Family Action Centre, University of Newcastle, Australia. newcastle.edu.au/center/fac/fp/index.html. At Home Dad. angelfire.com/zine2/athomedad/index.blog. Dad Info, information for fathers. dad.info. European Fatherhood, researchers and professionals on fatherhood in Europe. European-fatherhood.com. Center for Family Policy and Practice, USA. cffpp.org. Dadman, consulting, training, speaking about fathers and father figures as a vital family resource by Joe Kelly. ThetaDman.com. Effective Fathering, Anglicare WA, Australia. anglicareva.org.au/relationships/counseling/menstime.aspx. Australian Institute of Family Studies, AIFS. AIFS.org.au. National Fatherhood Initiative. 12410 Milestone Center Drive. Suite 600. Germantown, Maryland 20874. 301-948-0599. Fax, 301-948-6776. Fatherhood.org. Facebook. Facebook.com/National Fatherhood Initiative. Twitter. Twitter.com/The Father Factor. National Indian Child Welfare Association. 5100 Southwest Macadam Avenue. Suite 300. Portland, Oregon 97239. 503-222-4044. info@nicwa.org. nicwa.org. Facebook. facebook.com/nativechildren?feed=feed&story_FBID=11111460117. Twitter. twitter.com/nativechildren. Tribal Child Welfare Worker Certification. nicwa.org/certification. nicwa.org/training. National Network of Family Support and Strengthening Networks. 95 Washburn Street. San Francisco, California 94103. 415-730-5310. info@nationalfamilysupportnetwork.org. nationalfamilysupportnetwork.org. National Resource Center for Healthy Marriage and Families. 9300 Lee Highway. Fairfax, Virginia 22031. 1-866-916-4672. info@healthymarriageandfamilies.org. healthymarriageandfamilies.org. National Responsible Fatherhood Clearinghouse, NRFC. 9300 Lee Highway. Fairfax, Virginia 22031. 703-225-2320. 877-432-3411. info@fatherhood.gov. fatherhood.gov. Facebook. facebook.com/fatherhoodgov. Twitter. twitter.com/fatherhoodgov. American Coalition for Fathers and Children. 1718 MST. NW. Number 187. Washington, D.C. 20036. 800-978-3237. American Fathers Coalition. National Congress for Fathers and Children. 2000 Pennsylvania Avenue. NW. Number 148. Washington, D.C. 20006. 202 Fathers. Fax, 202-835-1001. Promotes fathers legislation, represents 280 fathers groups. At Home Dad Magazine. 61, Brightwood Avenue, N. Andover, Massachusetts, 01845. athomedad@aol.com. clubs.yahoo.com/club/athomedad newsletter. Birth Fathers Rights. Bethany Christian SVCs. 901 Eastern Avenue, NE. Grand Rapids, Michigan, 49503. 616-459-6273. Center on Fathering. 325 N. El Paso, St. Colorado Springs, Colorado, 80903. 800 MyDad 34. 719-634-7797. Fax, 719-634-7852. Children, Youth, and Family Consortium. FatherNet. 12 McNeil Hall, 1985, Buford Avenue, St. Paul, Minnesota, 55108. 612-626-1212. Fax, 612-626-1210. Children's Rights Council. 20 I Street, NE. Number 200. Washington, D.C. 20002-4307. 202-547-6227. 800-787 Kids. Dad to Dad. 120 Ashbrook Lane, Roswell, Georgia, 30076. At Home Fathers Organization. Domestic Rights Coalition. 1849 Iowa Avenue, E. St. Paul, Minnesota, 55119-4234. 800-358-6329. 612-659-0640. FamilyEFA.com. Seminars for Men. Fatherhood info, free. 800-790 Dads. Fatherhood Project. Bank Street College. 610 W. 112th St. New York, New York, 10025. 212-663-7200. Fatherhood Project. Families and Work Institute. 330 7th Avenue, NYC 10011. 212-268-4846. Fax, 212-465-8637. Fathering Support Services. 3248 N. Racine, Chicago, Illinois, 60657. 312-327-3752. Fathers Resource Center. 430 Oak Grove Street, number 105. Minneapolis, Minnesota, 55403. 612-874-1509. Fax, 612-874-1014. frc@winternet.com. parentsplace.com. Fathers Rights Association of New York. 800 Yes Dads. Fathers United for Equal Rights. POG 1032. Brick, New Jersey, 08723. 800-537-7697. Full-Time Dads Magazine. 193 Shelley Avenue, Elizabeth, New Jersey, 07208. 908-355-9722. Fax, 908-355-9723. FTDmag@fathersworld.com. fathersworld.com. Great Dad Seminars. POB 7537. Fairfax, STA, VA 22039. 800 Great Dads. grtdads@aol.com. Institute for Responsible Fatherhood and Family Revitalization. 800-601-4609. International Men's Anti-Defamation Network. 9 Front Street, Emo, on POW 1 times 10 to the power of 0. Canada. 807-482-2838. Fax, 807-482-3026. Male Liberation Foundation. 701 Northeast 67th Street. Miami, Florida, 33138. 305-756-6249. Men Assisting, Leading, and Educating. POG 460,171. Aurora, Colorado, 800401716. 800-949 Male. 303-693-9930. Fax, 303-693-6059. Men's Defense Association. 17854 Lyons Street. Forest Lake, Minnesota, 55075-8854. Men's Defense at AOL.com. mensdefense.org. Newsletter The Liberator. National Association for Fathers. 1075 N. Railroad Ave. Number 111. Richmond, New York, 10306. 718-494-1719. 800 Help Dad. BBS 800 Help Dad. National At Home Dads Association. Box 1876. Coppell, Texas, 75019. Full T-Dad at AOL.com. National Center for Fathering. 10200 W. 75th St. Number 267. Shawnee Mission, Kansas, 66204. 913-384-4661. 800-593-3237. 800-593 DADS. ncf at aol.com. Fathers.com. National Center for Men's Reproductive Rights. POG 555. Old Bethpage, New York, 11804. 516-942-2020. National Coalition of Free Men. POG 129. Manhasset, New York, 11030. 516-482-6378. 516-794-5151. ncfm at lei.com. National Congress for Fathers and Children. 851 Minnesota Avenue. POG 1675. KC, Kansas, 66117. 800 C-DADS. ncfc at primenet.com. National Fatherhood Initiative. 600 Eden Road. #E. Lancaster, Pennsylvania, 17601. 800-790 DADS. National Fathers Network. Kindering Center. 16120 Northeast 8th Street. Bellevue, Washington, 98008-3937. 425-747-4004, EXT. 218. Fax, 425-747-1069. FathersNetwork.org. National Organization for Men. 11 Park Place. NYC 10007. 212-766-4030. Quest, Men's Resource Magazine. 1592 Union Street. Number 370. San Francisco, California, 94123. 415-931-5332. Single Father Advocates. POG 55443. Seattle, Washington, 98155. 206-363-7823. United Fathers of America. 12304 Santa Monica Boulevard. Number 300. LA, CA 90025. 800-540-1273. 442-8575. 213-482-0804. Geared for divorced fathers, divorce lawyer referrals. Fatherhood organizations. Center for Family Policy and Practice. 23 North Pinckney Street, Suite 210. Madison, Wisconsin 53703. 608-257-3148. Fax, 608-257-4686. cffpp.org. Child Welfare Information Gateway. Children's Bureau/ACYF. 330 C Street, S.W. Washington, District of Columbia 20201. 800-394-3366. info@childwelfare.gov. childwelfare.gov. facebook.com/childwelfare. fatherhoodfirst.org. Youth and Family Services. POB 2813. Rapid City, South Dakota 57709. 605-342-4233. youthandfamilyservices.org/fatherhood-first. facebook.com/pages/fatherhood-first/1163324544847. fatherville.com. Idaho 208-887-9086. fatherville.com. facebook.com/fatherville. twitter.com/fatherville. National Center for Fathering. POB 413888. Kansas City, Missouri 64141. 800-593-3237. dads@fathers.com. fathers.com. National Fatherhood Initiative. 12410 Milestone Center Drive, Suite 600. Germantown, Maryland 20874. 301-948-0599. Fax, 301-948-6776. fatherhood.org. facebook.com/National Fatherhood Initiative. twitter.com/The Father Factor. National Fathers Network. Kindering Center. 16120 Northeast 8th Street, Bellevue, Washington 98008-3937. 425-747-4004. Fax, 425-747-1069. fathersnetwork.org. facebook.com/pages/washington-state-fathers-network/181197305235376. twitter.com/@WSFN. National Responsible Fatherhood Clearinghouse, NRFC. 9300 Lee Highway, Fairfax, Virginia 22031. 703-225-2320. 877-432-3411. info@fatherhood.gov. fatherhood.gov. facebook.com/fatherhoodgov. twitter.com/fatherhoodgov. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Administration for Children and Families. 370 L'Enfant Promenade, SW. Washington, District of Columbia 20447. 202-619-0257. 877-696-6675. acf.hhs.gov. twitter.com/acfhhs. YouTube. youtube.com/usgovacf. hhs.gov. Chapter 4. Family and Relationship Organizations at menstuff.org/groups/groupsindex.htm. Academy of Family Mediators, Referral to Mediators. 1500 South Highway 100, number 355, Golden Valley, Minnesota 554166125258670. Adult and Guild Guidance Clinic, 950 West Julian Street, San Jose, California, 95126408292-9353. Alameda County Association, 1885 The Alameda, number 208, San Jose, California, 95126408247-7703. America Links Up, part of Internet education campaign whose goal is making the Internet experience rewarding and safe for kids. AmericaLinksUp.org. American Association of MFCC, Referral Service. 1100 17th Street Northwest 10th floor, Washington, D.C. 20036800374-2638. American Bar Association, support to professionals and attorneys working with children on abuse and neglect cases, parental abduction, and financial child support. 1800 M St. N.W. number 200, Washington, D.C. 20036202331-2250. American Coalition for Fathers and Children, lobbying arm for the National Congress for Fathers and Children. acfc.org or acfc@majordomo.sozof.com, afc@cap.gu.edu, host unknown. American Fathers Coalition, 2000, Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest number 148, Washington, D.C. 20006703255-2428 or 206-272-2152 Internet, afc@cap.gu.edu. Association for Children for Enforcement of Support, Advocacy, and Info for Enforcement of Financial Child Support. 2260 Upton Avenue, Toledo, Ohio 43606-800-537-7072. At Home Dad Network. athomedad.com. backlash.com/votemail/vote.html. feminazi.com. Black Dog for Kids. Black Dog is a place for children to learn about the internet in a safe, concerned environment. Breastfeeding, babychangingstation.com/breastfeeding. California Law Revision Commission, 4000 Middlefield Road #D1, Palo Alto, California 94303. California Mediation Service, 1388 Sutter Street number 1210, San Francisco, California 94109415981-7272 attempted not known. California Missing Children, Department of Justice, Missing Persons Unit, POG 903387, Sacramento 94203-800.222.3463. Canadian Men's Parent Association, X21 Morris St., Ottawa, Ontario K1S4 Canada. Caring Grandparents of America, 206.232.136.2/CGA. Center for Attitudinal Healing, free parent/child support group dealing with life-threatening illness and bereavement, Tiburon CA 415-435-5022. Center for Children of Divorce, 2124 Arthur Avenue, Belmont, California 94002. The Center for Divorce Recovery. Men's Divorce Support Groups. 8930 Waukegan Road, Suite 202, Morton Grove, Illinois 60053847470-0280. Center for Divorce Education, POG 5900, Athens, Ohio 4501614-593-1065. Center for Fam and Counsel, 693 Avenue del Oro, Sonoma, California 95476. Center for Families in Transition, 415-924-5750. Center for Successful Fathering, promoting the benefits of involved dads. We believe that children need the balance of mom and dad. Fathering.org. Center for Gender Psychology, London. 44 0 181 341 4885. genderscisen@gn.apc.org or genderscisen@gn.apc.org. Child Abuse Prevention Council, 1000 South Main Street No. 212, Salinas, California 93901. Child Help USA, National Survivors of Child Abuse, 15757 North 78th Street, Scottsdale, Arizona 85260. ChildHelpUSA.org 800-422-4453 or the Children's Center in Phoenix at 602-271-4500. Children's Defense Fund, this site includes an abundance of information about children and youth issues. Children's Rights Council. crckids.org. Children's Rights Council of California, 915 L Street, Hashtag C282 Sacramento, California 95860. Children's Rights of America, 1010 Hunt Cliff No. 1295, Atlanta, Georgia 30350 800-442-4673. Child Welfare League of AM, 440 1st Street Northwest No. 310, Washington, D.C. 20001202-638-2952. Citizens for Family Justice, epub 723, San Leandro, California 94577510357-4200. Coalition for America's Children, 1634 IST, NW 12th FL, Washington, D.C. 20006202-638-5770. Coalition of Parent Support, 2681 Callaway Hashtag 314-124, Bakersfield, California 93312. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. CDC.gov, epub 1161, Santa Maria, California 93456. Coalition of Concerned Parents, 2690 MC Laughlin Avenue, San Jose, California 951214083639846. Coalition of Parent Support, epub 115, Lake Forest, California 926307414.455. Cops * Committee on Gender Bias in the Courts. Address bias against both sexes. epub 50, Punta Gorda, Florida 33951813637-7477. Concerned Birth Parents, 36 Randwick Avenue, Orangevale, California 94611 or 8504 Bellamy Way, Sacramento, California 95828. Concerned Black Men Incorporated, to publicly recognize and aid the constructive African American youth, 655 15th Street Northwest No. 300, Washington, D.C. 200052026394052. Recycledpulp.com 81% 7 ecmno/index/html. Dad and Son Memoir at parentsplace.com/readroom/goodfathers/index.html. Dad, The Family Shepherd, epub 21445, Little Rock, Arkansas 72221-800-234-3237-R. Dads Against Discrimination, Oregon Pioneer Building 320 Southwest Stark Street 5th floor, Portland, Oregon 972-04503-222-111194. Dads and Daughters is the national nonprofit membership organization of fathers with daughters. Dads provides tools to strengthen our relationships with our daughters and to transform the pervasive messages that value our daughters more for how they look than who they are. dadsanddaughters.org or jok@dadsanddaughters.org or 218-728-1983, 799. dadsdivorce.com is a public service of the Dads Divorce Institute in St. Louis, Missouri. We are dedicated to helping divorced and divorcing fathers maximize their role in their children's lives. info@dadsdivorce.com 314-983-0001, 1299. Dads and Daughters, 174, Scenic Avenue, Santa Rosa, California, 954077707, 584-8138. Divorced Fathers, Serge Prengel, Mission Creative Energy, 27 West 24th Street, 603, New York, New York, 10010. DivorcedFather.com. The Family and Workplace Connection. To help people successfully manage their work, family, and personal lives. We carry out this mission by providing programs and services that respond to society-wide changes in the nuclear family and work/life. 3511, Cyberside Road 100 Wilson Building, Wilmington, Delaware, 19810372479-1679. FamilyandWorkplace.org. Families and Work Institute, 330 7th Avenue 14 FL, New York, New York, 1001212-465-2044. Family Courtsair Admin Off, 303 2nd Street South Tower, 4th FL Legal Div, San Francisco, California, 94107415396-9155. Family Court Service, 1558 West St. No. 1, Redding, California, 96001916-225-5707. Family Law Action Council, POB 3213, Berkeley, California, 94703510841-7839. Family Law Coalition, POB 260205, Encino, California, 91426. Family Law Mediation, 465 California Street No. 200, San Francisco, California, 94104415989-8999. Family Law Reform, 2547 Noriega Street No. 333, San Francisco, California, 94122415753-8315. Family Mediation CTR, 285 Hamilton Avenue, Palo Alto, California, 94301415328-7000. Family Play 2-11, features learning-based activities, bedtime stories, birthday ideas, and much more. The site's Teachable database allows users to get help finding activities suitable for their children. Family Play's recommendations include a companion list of materials and even some useful illustrations, as well as a short description of the educational value of the proposed activity. Share parenting tips, ask experts your toughest questions, and learn how to turn ordinary family events into creative play experiences. FamilyPlay.com. Family Resource Coalition of America, name changed to Family Support America below. Family Services of America, 11700 West Lake Park Drive, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 5322444-359-1040. Family Support America, formerly Family Resource Coalition of America, 20 years of exponential growth as the nation's family support organization for the well-being of our children. 20 North Wacker Drive, Suite 1100, Chicago, Illinois, 60606312338-0900. FamiliesUpportAmerica.org. FamilyWeb. FamilyWeb.com. Family World. Family.com. Fatherhood Project, 330 7th Avenue, 14th, Florida, New York, New York, 10001. Fatherhoodproject.org. Fathering Issues and Resources. parentsplace.com/readroom/father.html. Fathers Network, not divorce/custody issues, since 1976 for fathers raising children. Resources, books, events, and information pertinent to fathers, whether single, unsingle, unwed, middle-aged, at home, full-time, step, foster with sons and/or daughters. Fathers Network at menstuff.org. Fathers Network, a national organization that helps fathers raising disabled children. 16120 NE 8th, Bellevue, Washington, 98008-425.747.4004 JMAY at fathersnetwork.org. Fathersnetwork.org. Fathers of America, 415 Washington Boulevard, number 1102, Marina del Rey, California, 90292310305-1762. Fathers Team Ministry Int. 4222 Hamilton Avenue, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45233513681-5669. Freemen at free-men.com/communities/nonprofit/men's groups/noble journey. Friends of Child Find, 741 East St. number 257, Woodland, California, 956959166663331. Full-Time Dads, ftdmag@aol.com. Slowlane.com. Fun Attic, Inc., your family fun place, a mother lode of unique outdoor games, toys for active play and innovative sporting goods. 3719 Jasmine NE, Grand Rapids, MI 49525, or 616-559-3642. Funattic.com. The Future of Children, the David and Lucille Packard Foundation, 300 2nd Street, Suite 200, Los Altos, California, 94022. Circulation at futureofchildren.org. Futureofchildren.org. Also, publishes a quarterly journal. Getting Men Involved, quarterly publication, editor Ray Capper. Bamian.org. Getting Men Involved booklet, James Levine. Workandfamilies.org. Groompower.com is edited in the UK. They provide no-nonsense wedding advice for UK men. KidsPeace, the National Center for Kids Overcoming Crisis, a private, not-for-profit organization that has been providing hope and healing to kids in crisis since 1882. It offers the country's widest array of children's critical care services under a single roof and crisis education to families across the U.S. KidsPeace.org. Life Partners. Healing Relationships. Healing the Earth. LifePartners.com. Men/Fathers Resource Center, referrals local, state or NAT assistant Prague on domestic problems, visitation, support, abuse allegations and advice about issues with their children 24 hours, 512-472-3237. dads@fathers.org and menhotline.org. Men's Advocate Men's Hotline update on gender issues from the male perspective, 512-472-3237, men@menhotline.org. Men's Defense Association, 1731 Wright Avenue, Sunnyvale, California, 94087408739-8465. mensdefense.org. Men's Defense Association, 17854 Lyons Street, Forest Lake, Minnesota, 550-25612-464-7887. mensdefense.org/MoniF. Men's Educational Network. General Men's Issues. Box 10033, Kansas City, Missouri, 641-11816-561-4066. National Center for Fathering. Fathers.com. National Coalition of Free Men, Education, Family Law, Research. INET. ncfm.org or ncfm@ncfm.org. National Coalition of Parents for Fathers' Rights, 6434 Farallone Avenue, Woodland Hills, California, 91303. National Council for Children's Rights, 220 IST number 230, Washington, D.C. 20002. National Council on Family Relations. Member Organization, Family Issues Professionals. 3989 Central Avenue Northeast number 550, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 55421612781-9331. National Court Appointed Special Advocates. Volunteers appear in court on behalf of abused and neglected children. 2722 East Lake Avenue East number 220, Seattle, Washington, 98102206, 328-8588. National Fatherhood Initiative, 600 Eden Road Building E. Lancaster, Pennsylvania, 17601717581, 8860. Fatherhood.org or NFI1995@AOL.com. National Fathers Network, set UPS up father support programs for fathers whose children are disabled, 93 programs in 36 states, provinces, and New Zealand. FathersNetwork.org. National Fathers Network Kindering CTR, 16120 Northeast 8th Street, Bellevue, Washington, 98008206, 747-4004. National Fathers Rights Org, Box 4001, Waukesha, Wisconsin, 53187414547-9000 or 414-798-9000. National Institute for Divorce Research, POB 35741, Panama City, Florida, 32412. National Network of Runaway and Youth Services. Networks with youth shelters and other community-based groups. 1319 F. St. N.W. number 401, Washington, D.C. 20004202, 783-7949. National Organization for Men, 49 White Street, New York, New York, 10013212966-1157. National Organization for Men, 16601 Alliance Avenue number 10, Tustin, California, 92680. National Organization of Dads and Kids, 50 Janice Way, Scotts Valley, California, 9506408-494-0992. tnom.com. nom.org. National Organization of Men, 11 Park PL, New York, New York, 1007212-766-4030. National Organization on Adolescent Pregnancy, Parenting and Prevention, the only national organization focusing solely on adolescent pregnancy, parenting and prevention issues. 2401 Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest, Suite 350, Washington, D.C. 200372022-293-8370 or noahppp@noahppp.org. noahppp.org. National Youth Agency, UK, the largest non-uniformed youth organization in the UK. Visitors will find information and an up-to-date database for youth workers, a list of upcoming conferences and events in the field, and explanations about the youth service field and how to enter it. This site includes volunteer opportunities for youth and lists other youth work organizations in the UK. nga.org.uk. Pro-Choice for Men Project, 11496 FTY 9er Circle, Gold River, California, 95670916635-3209. Relationship Resources Incorporated, helping men build lifelong relationships and save their marriages. Dr. Jim A. Talley, drtalley@drtalley.com or drtalley.com. Rigzane, Parenting, Holidays, Humor, Family and Fun. Lots of great links. Rexan.com. Quest, National Organization for Men. tnom.com. Second Wives Crusade at secondwives.org. Shared Parenting Association of Alberta, 31510 Avenue SE number 202, Calgary, UP T2G0W2403-262-4662 Single Fathers, POB 2127, Sonoma, California 95476. Simba African AM Men helping African AM boys to become, POB 27548, Oakland, California 94602. The Ghetto Solution, 12-year commitment as a mentor of inner-city residents, Roland Gilbert, founder, 510-987-8311, 800.newlife8. simba.org, or roland@simba.org, or ghet0@aol.com. Stand for Children, a national organization that encourages individuals to improve children's lives. Its mission is to identify, train and connect local children's activists engaging in advocacy, awareness raising, and service initiatives as part of children's action teams. On June 1 each year a special issue, such as quality of child care, is highlighted. Children's Defense Fund, 1834, Connecticut Avenue Northwest, Washington, D.C. 20009-800-663-4032 or tells TN at stand.org. Stand.org. Standing Together, National Coalition for the Protection of Children and Families, NCPCF at nationalcoalition.org. Step Family Foundation Incorporated, 333 West End Avenue, New York, New York, 10023212877, 877-3244, fax 212.362.7030/24-hour information line 212.799. Stepfamily.org or stefamily@aol.com. Jeanette Lugvas, 1299. Stop Hazing. Stofazing.org and sites.netscape.net/hanknewwer/homepage. Suicide information at nimh.nih.gov/research/suichart.htm. Twinsfoundation.com. Washington State Fathers Network, set UPS up father support programs for fathers whose children are disabled. Fathersnetwork.org. Welcome to the domain of patriarchy. Patriarchy.com. Youth Crime Watch of American 305-670-2409. YCMA.org. Youth Work, lots of sites and information for youth. Youthwork.com. Chapter 5. Prisoners have families. Family support for prisoners. forchildren.org/topics/family_support. AdDamer.org, Prisoners Support and Human Rights Association. ExtendedFamilySupport.org, Extended Family is a non-profit support system for families of prisoners. FCNetwork.org, Family and Corrections Network, Families and Children of Prisoners. FreshestStartFellowship.com, Prison Support and Help Center Ministry for Prisoners' Family Members. goodbeginnings.net.au/5-pillars/intensive-family.html, Intensive Family Support, Prisoners and Their Families. groups.yahoo.com/group/prisoners and family support. newyorkprisoners.com. Prison Bid, Prison Support, Forums for Friends and Family of Inmates. prisonbid.com/forum/archive/index.php. prisondharmanetwork.org/prisoners_family.html. prisonerswithchildren.org, prisonerswithchildren.org/family.htm. prisonlifemag.com. prisontalk.com, PTO Prisoner and Family Support Forums. tpronline.org, research articles on teens with incarcerated parents. wesleymission.org.au/community_services/counseling/prisoners_family.asp, prisoners and family support. Prison websites. These websites have anything to do with prisons. Try number 365 at the library. ancestorhunt.com/prison_search.htm, prison search, search for prison inmates, prisoners, prison records and offender records at state correctional institutions, county jails and prisons. prisonlegalnews.org. aclu.org/prison. adpsr.org/prison/about.htm. aele.org/law/jb-resources.html, jail and prison law. anarchistblackcross.org. angelfire.com/fl3/stark/issues.html. asentensoft.heron.com/resources-bibliography-rafi.html. baker.edu/library/resources/courses/coef/coef.cfm, Correctional Officer Training. bethel-college.edu/library/web resources/criminaljustice.htm bethel-college.edu/library/web resources/web-resource-law.htm books-through-bars.org breakthechains.net brown.edu/departments/swearer_center/literacy_resources/corrections.html bu.edu/library/guide/crime.html bureauofprisons.com burn.ucsd.edu/acf/prison/herald.html anarchist prisoners serving unjust life sentences in Tennessee ccadp.org/california.htm death row ccpoaironwood.com cefso.ca/students.html cellpals.com cellpals.com/newsletter1.htm cellpals prison newsletter cellpals.com/resource-directory.htm chicagobwp.org/cbwp_resources.pdf women's prisons christiananswers.net/prison/states.html cincinnatilibrary.org/resources/government.asp citizenworks.org/issues/justice/justice-corporate_prisons.php Coalition Against the American Correctional Association cjcj.org cjcj.org/links/index.php cltl.umassd.edu/resources-links.cfm cod.edu/library/libweb/wagner/criminal-justice/crimj.htm coha.org college.library.wisc.edu/resources/subject_guide/prisons.htm correctionalassociation.org correctionalhealth.org/resources corrections.com corrections.com/links crf-usa.org/links criminal.findlaw.com/crime/criminal_help/prisoners.html criticalresistance.org criticalresistance.org/index.php !name=resources-by-region csc-scc.gc.ca Canada cvmha.org cwlaw.org/program/incarcerated/cop_get-involved.htm denvergov.org/crime prevention/county jail life skills program ditchley.co.uk/page/125/prisoner-reintegration.htm ed.gov/about/offices/lists/osdfs/fadrays.html correctional educators ed.gov/about/offices/lists/osdfs/fadrays.html Federal Resources for Correctional Educators fcnetwork.org Family and Corrections FocusPrisonMinistries.com East Tennessee freebsd.org/doc/n_us.iso8859-1/book/handbook/jails.html freefreenow.org fridayf.com/new2005/brute.html America's Brutal Prisons genesee.edu/library/internet's/ubject guide/isg criminaljustice.cfm glad.org/rights/prisonerissues.pdf glad.org/rights/prisoner-resources-national.pdf government.cce.com/ll.edu/doc/html/prisons-privatization.htm groups.msn.com/prison-longhouse home.talkcity.com/spiritsd/robidon/page2.html One man's fight to turn his life around despite Texas parole's desire to return all parolees to prison. huffingtonpost.com/tag/jails icpsr.umich.edu/nacjd/ncrp idoc.state.il.us ilj.org/projects/corrections/jails.htm. infoshop.org/prison/public_html. internetbiz.com/resources/cjresources.htm. johnhoward.ca. justice.uaa.alaska.edu. justicefellowship.org. kcl.ac.uk/depsda/rel/icps/links-resources.html. keystone.edu/miller_library/criminal.html. lajailinfo.com, Los Angeles County Jail information. lang.sbsun.com/projects/lost-among-us. lawresearchservices.com/firm/tort/inmate-search.htm. lib.msu.edu/harris23/crim-just/correct.htm. lib.msu.edu/harris23/crim-just/insights.htm. library.orarea.edu/findit/subj_guide/social/crim-just.html. library.eku.edu/branches/justice/resources.php. library.gmu.edu/resources/soci/criminal.html. library.gsu.edu/research/resources.asp. lii.org/pub/subtopic/4064. llrx.com/features/prisonersrights.htm. maxpages.com/prison-ministry/condition_at_Terrell. maxrehab.com/criminal rehabilitation. mccc.edu/student_library_resources_criminal.shtml. medamer.net/dare/jaillook.htm. The Williamson County Jail. middlegroundprisonreform.org. missionresources.com/prisonoutreach.html. motherjones.com/news/special_reports/prisons. mplusupport.tk, Missouri Prisoners Labor Union. namicc.org/research/2004/mental-health-house-arvice-in-prisons.htm. napas.org/issues/cj. nationaltextile.us, buy prison jumpsuits. 360degrees.org/resources/links.html. ncchc.org, correctional healthcare. ncjrs.gov. ncjrs.org, National Criminal Justice Reference Service. ncsconline.org. nicc.org, corrections info. nmha.org/federal/criminal justice resources.pdf. nng.org/download/publication/27/criminal justice system.pdf. nomoreprisons.org. november.org/resources/resources-prisons.html. nfa.org, prison health. ojp.usdoj.gov/bjs, Bureau of Justice Statistics. ojp.usdoj.gov/bjs/abstract/ccopy.htm, conditions of prisons and jails. ojp.usdoj.gov/bjs/jails.htm, Bureau of Justice Statistics, Jail Statistics. ojp.usdoj.gov/bjs/prisons.htm. open.org/people1/article/criminal_justice.htm, mentally retarded people. oppega.state.fl.us. orion.it.lu.edu/swartza/corrections.html. ourdaleYBReadmissions.org/prisonresources.htm. overcrowding.com. patrickcrusade.org. paulsjusticepage.com/crimepays/resource. pbs.org/pov/pov2005/omarandpete/resources_pbs.html. pbs.org/wgbh/pages/frontline/shows/etc/links.html pbs.org/wgbh/pages/frontline/when-kids-get-life peoplefindernowcom/crime2.htm philadelphia.gov/prison/chorusdar.pdf prisonactivist.com prisonactivist.org prisonandjail.org prisonbookprogram.org prisonerlife.com provides prisoners with opportunities to communicate with internet users. prisonfellowship.org Christian prisonimpact.org religious prisonkids.com prisonplanet.com prisonpolicy.org/factsheets.html prisonpotpourri.com prisonresources.org prisonstudies.org prisontalk.com prisonterminal.com Life and Death in a Prison Hospice documentary film prisonvideos.com Christian realcostofprisons.org restorativejustice.org restorativejustice.org/resources/docs ringsurf.com/netring?info&ring=ring=inmate rondk.org/prisons.htm sabes.org/resources/field notes/vol12/f23resources.htm essaycentral.sa.gov.au Australia sagepub.com 2-volume encyclopedia of prisons and correctional facilities stleo.edu/resources/docs/guide/crm220.doc schr.org/prisonsjail/links.html schr.org/prisonsjail/state-resources scsdma.org/online resources Massachusetts sentencingproject.org smhp.psych.ukla.edu/qf/juvenilejustice.htm spiritofreedom.org.uk spj.org/prison-sd.asp prison access for journalists subnet.nga.org/workforce-council-chairs/employ-our-resources.htm survivingthesystem.com talkjustice.com/links.asp tapartnership.org/advisors/juvenile_justice texasescapes.com/texas_architecture/texasjails.htm thearc.org/ada/crimpubs.html theocjail.com Orange County, California jail information thirdworldtraveler.com/prison_system realcostofprisons.org usdoj.gov/crt/split/jails.htm ussc.gov U.S. Sentencing Commission utmb.edu/cmc Correctional Managed Care uua.org/csw/criminaljustice.htm vachss.com/help_text/juvenile_corrections.html vera.org/links/links.asp virtualchase.com/resources/criminal_records.html virtuallibrarian.com/it/offender.html walkinginplace.org/prison/prison_resources.htm